and welcome back to our weekly Icarus Patchnotes discussion. Week 165. Let me actually fix the title of the stream. Hammerhead. There we go. Right, I'm here with Carlos. I'm quickly hopping over to Discord. Hey, my man.
Good evening.
So
How goes?
well, not bad, not bad. Weekend again, so time for gameplay again. So that's good.
Well, patch notes at the very least.
Oh,
Gameplay, as
definitely.
I've described, I need to update the game, but
Yeah,
hopefully it finishes in time.
but if it doesn't finish in time, I can always do a bit of gameplay myself, solo. Would be
Yep,
more
I'll join
fun
then
doing
as
it
soon as possible. Yeah.
co-op though. So,
Now, of course, I mean, even if I maybe join you a little bit later, because we are obviously looking towards a new
oh
boss.
yeah, we are in week 165 now, and we have the Hammerhead Slug world boss. And from what I have read in the experimental branch, it's finally looking to be a bit of a challenge again. So that's good.
Indeed, but let's see what the notes say.
Yeah.
Perhaps it says nothing much, or maybe it tells
Well,
us.
not in the notes that much, no. But anyway, the new Hammerhead Slug world boss has been added and can be found in the swamp biomes in Prometheus. So you need to have the Prometheus DLC in order to fight this particular world boss. So welcome to week 165. Now today the Hammerhead Slug world boss is introduced to the swamps of Icarus. We also give a sneak peek into what is coming next week, allowing all bosses to be lootable when killed, and a quality pass on their rewards. So up until now it's only the Black Wolf which could be looted. Sandworm, Scorpion King, those guys you could not loot. Starting next week you will start getting loot from those as well, giving us a reason to actually actively hunt those guys.
Correct.
Now, if you want to fight the Hammerhead Slug, you will need to play on the Prometheus map in the New Frontiers expansion. So, if you play solo, you need to have the Prometheus DLC. If you play co-op, however, only the person starting the prospect needs to have this Prometheus DLC, the New Frontiers DLC, and everyone else can join in even when they don't have the DLC themselves.
Correct.
Yeah, the New Frontiers DLC map name Prometheus is in the Steam, €28.99, and it's basically a lot of new gameplay compared to Olympus Sticks. I think it's like one of the biggest DLCs so far.
Yeah, because this is the one that introduces the red exotics, right? And
Yep.
all those things. So it does
New
open up a whole,
biomes, new
yep,
animals, yeah, new
new
materials.
items, workshop items, etc., etc.
So, a couple of notable improvements this week. A couple of additional Black Wolf spawns have been added to the Olympus Arctic areas. Also update to the bestiary, as the Black Wolf is in the Arctic on both Styx and Olympus. So it will be listed in... No, actually it should be listed under world bosses if I'm not mistaken. But it should now tell you like, hey, both Styx and Olympus, it's also in the Arctic. A quite important one, they shifted the Black Wolf boss spawn zones away from the starting areas of Olympus. The starting area in the middle of the central forest in Olympus, you know, where we all started, like
Yep,
the very first mission with a little
I have
triangle
an
lake
idea.
in
Yep,
the little triangle island in the lake.
yep.
They added a Black Wolf spawn on that island.
Seems a bit unfair if you're a new player and you just happen to stumble across a black wolf.
Exactly.
It wouldn't end very well.
Exactly. So yeah, they removed that at least that particular one. Basically, they checked, okay, early missions, where are people gonna start? Let's make sure they don't drop in the middle of the Black Wolf pack. So, yeah. Furthermore, various texture and material optimizations to reduce the size and the memory usage whilst playing. Always good. Now this week we have the Hammerhead Slug World Boss, and we see the nice picture of the slug like cowering over the dead body of the prospector.
Looming over, indeed.
Looming over, okay, yeah. English isn't my main language, sorry.
No, no, I know. It is not a correction out of malice. It is only one to help you.
Well, and received as such.
Perfect.
So the Hammerhead Slug is the first world boss we have added to Icarus in a long time, but it will not be the last. Now the Hammerhead Slug spawns in all swamp regions of the Prometheus map and has some rather unique abilities. When it takes enough damage, it will split. Not once, but twice. So it splits into multiple smaller variants, and those smaller variants, if they take damage, they will split once again. So the prospectors will quickly find themselves fighting more than one creature. And here's where co-op gameplay is going to be very handy, because you don't have to kill them all on yourself. Prospectors will also need to be careful, as these splits will attempt to combine back into their larger counterparts as time goes by. So you have like, I don't know, like a dozen of them very small ones. Start killing them, because they're going to be merging to the medium sizes, which if you leave them alone will merge back into the big one again. So yeah. Hey Hunter, welcome. So I think we're gonna have our work cut out when we go out for a Hammerhead Slug.
Well, it depends on how far the splitting takes place. If they're basically exactly where you stood, you can carry on spraying the area with a flamethrower or with your assault carbine or whatever have you. It
Well,
just
it's
depends on how quick they move, how tanky they are, and obviously if it turns out that, you know, if you keep on splitting them up, reload, keep on shooting, reload, keep on shooting, and you kill all the small things, that there is nothing to combine, that the boss is just
yeah.
dead,
So how
then
quickly
it
do you
does help
think?
the
How quickly do you think your carbine is gonna lose durability?
you will need another carbine.
Yeah, you know, last week when we found when we fought the lava hunter,
Yeah.
I burned through my carbine rather quickly. Last year was just
I mean,
playing around in the lava.
yeah, that is definitely the consideration point between the carbide versus the hunting rifle or even the shotgun. I think shotgun might be really useful for the slug, but it is basically, I think that the shotgun is going to be as usual, the go-to weapon for this. But it really just depends on the HP pool of the small splits. So if you need the burst damage, because that's where the carbine excels, then you will need to have a spare carbine or flamethrower. But flamethrower is not going to be very efficient because it doesn't have, you know, burst damage. It has damage over time damage, which
Yep.
is slow burning, not useful because you need to kill them before they merge. So,
So
you know,
basically
it's
obsidian ammo, because
unless, yeah,
it is a swamp animal, and swamp
swamp
animals
creature, yeah.
are weak to fire. You guys going
And
to
that's
see the
correct.
new boss? We will, Hunter. We will. No worries there.
That's it. Just depends. It would be interesting if the slugs, the splits aren't able to merge back together if they're on fire, for example. So if that is the case, then it might be used as a type of crowd control effect, so that you give them some distance between each other. So you would use a combination of the two. But we shall see, and
We
gameplay
definitely gonna
further
see.
down the line.
Yeah, but I would say fire, so incendiary rounds maybe, or the obsidian rounds, which gives like the alpha damage and burn damage, like not a fire, but burn. We were looking at
Yeah,
it last week.
we would probably. I think I crafted a. I think I crafted some, but we'll have to double check. But
Uh,
it's basically, yeah, we'd want the obsidian ones.
uh,
And actually, yeah, I did mine a bunch of obsidian as well. So
Indeed. So some preparations to be done before we take on this guy.
um, well, we can also just
Run
take
in
things
and
as it
die. Yeah,
goes.
true, true.
No, not die. It shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, like I said, you over, you know, it's going to be easy, just like the Scorpion
Mm.
King. It's going to be easy. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, okay. I'll stand back and I'll watch and I'll laugh.
I know. I'll solo the guy. He freaking breezed. Breeze. I'm telling you.
Alrighty. Well, we will see. No worries. Now next week, all world bosses lootable. So next week, all the world bosses will be lootable when killed. The drop pools will be rebalanced to reflect the difficulty of taking them down. So Black Wolf, which is already lootable, Sandworm, Scorpion King, yeah. Since there's a new world boss, I wonder if there will be new missions for it. No, Hunter. As far as I know, there are no new missions. Just a
There
new
should be
world
though.
boss.
It's a good question. I mean, theoretically, you have missions which force you to encounter the bosses, and therefore
True.
it does make sense that there should have been, or at least considerations for a mission of some sort, which tells you, go hunt the big slug.
We have missions for Scorpion King, for Sandworm, and
Yeah,
for Black Wolf.
exactly.
There is, however, not a mission. No, not a mission as such for the Lava Hunter, except for the one storyline mission which unlocks the null sector. But other
It,
than
it
that,
forces, but it forces you to engage him,
yeah,
or it.
true. But
Exactly.
it did it already before it became a world boss.
Correct. But that's the point.
So, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure there is no new mission to engage the Hammerhead Slug. You might want to go grab him though to get his loot. I believe this one already drops loot from what I've seen. Anyway, continuing. Your support makes these updates possible. If you want to support the team in keep on developing the game, uh, you can do so by buying the game or buying some or all of the DLCs. The pets bundle, including the creature comfort pack, which gives you more water and food troughs, a couple of extra saddles. There's the pet companions pack, which gives you extra variants of dogs and cats, and also gives you horses, like the proper horses. And the zebra rescue mission. The only way to get a zebra is mount. You know, Josh's favorite mount, the zebra. Or you just say, you know what, let's just get it all. You didn't go for the complete set bundle, which is basically a dynamic bundle, and it's checking what do you have, what don't you have yet, and it's only adding the stuff you don't have yet. Anyway, some new content. Adding New Zealand on Air logo in the credits section. Added and updated. Never look at the credits section to be honest, but okay.
Mhm.
Uh, the new Hammerhead slugs added to the bosses JSON file, new icon, 5 spawn points in Prometheus for the slug to spawn, 5. So where Prometheus, where Olympus and Styx have 3 spawns per world boss, Prometheus is gonna have 5 for this one. It has 1 for the Lava Hunter, 5 for the Hammerhead slugs, nice. Uh, Health bar now only appears once the boss fight has started. As we've seen numerous times, if you run past a sandworm, it shows the health bar already before it even pops up. The slug though, you only get a health bar as soon as you like engage him, or he engages you.
think the same was also for the Lava Hunter. You were hearing him, and there was no HP bar until he was fully engaged, and then the bar popped up. So
Yeah.
I think that's the same.
And to be
Might be
honest, I was
mistaken.
very happy that health bar worked on the Lava Hunter.
Mhm.
Because I've never seen it work for the sandworms, for example. So I was quite happy it worked for the Lava Hunter. Let's see, fix a replication bug where the client wouldn't see the final slug or health bar cleaning up. Oh, that's annoying. Then health bar stays at the screen for all clients. And since we play on a dedicated server, it means we're all clients. So I'm glad they fixed that. Added village check to prevent warnings on getting blackboard as slug dies. So this must have popped up on experimental branch, and I'm glad I fixed it before it went live. More news about the Hammerhead Slug. It will now return to its anchor point if straying too far, so basically tethered. Added some missing checks and changed how it was cleaning up, right? Whirlpool spawner overrides so slug doesn't bind on big slug death. Yeah, I don't know enough about the logic behind the game code to comment much on this one. Fixed bug where final slug would sometimes explode instead of chronicable.
That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
yeah, and
I
then
was
you
kind
have,
of hoping to see a big explosion of like flesh and guts and gore. That would have been cool, but
yeah, look at it from the
yeah.
other side. Now it explodes,
Mhm.
and there is no loot. So you finally managed
No,
to
there would
kill the
be.
thing.
No, there would be a little bit over here. There would be a little bit over there. There would be a few little bits hanging from the trees.
Ah,
So it would be
so
perfectly fine.
so you have to then search for the loot.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I can see how that would work. Like search within this area.
Well, I mean, it's just bits and pieces if things explode. But it depends if there would actually be lootable items. Certain games like Fallout would allow you to sort of headshot, and with certain perks you would have the guy explode into gory eyeballs and severed spines, and pieces would go flying everywhere, which is a good laugh. It's really entertaining. I like it. And then you would loot the whole corpse via the eyeball, which landed next to your foot, rather than having to travel to where the carcass would have been.
Hmm.
So it's an interesting mechanic.
Let's see, the slug carcass now highlights. Switch poison modifier to be minus 50% sprint speed instead of a minus 5% movement speed to try and reduce the chance of not being able to move when having all debuffs added to you. So this means this is going to be a poison modifier, so we use green pills.
Yeah.
But also means like minus 5% movement speed could result in like being unable to move. So at least stack 20 high this poison, this speed debuff thing.
Well, it was they've changed it to -50, so there is no longer -5, but
Negative 5 movement and has changed to negative 50% sprint. But if the minus
oh,
5% movement speed could result in being unable to move,
mhm.
that means it's stacking at least 20. And
Yes,
apparently this happened, so expect to be sped on a lot. Either sped on
yeah.
or gain this debuff on in some other way.
Yeah, if you're an amateur and you can't dodge projectiles like a boss, then yes, definitely.
Is it only going to be spit, or is it also going to be other ways to gain this debuff?
Probably via him spitting on the ground and you not looking out where you're going and then stepping into it will poison you or give you a debuff.
So
So it depends on how long it will be and etc. But we'll see.
looking at the visit, which is also a slug variant,
Mm.
the slime trail.
Yeah, no, that'll be part of it, but it'll also be,
Uh,
you
and
know,
then
because
if you
it's
have
slug.
like a dozen of the small ones, each with their own
Yeah,
slime
maybe trails
trails,
all
good
over.
luck there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey Infinity,
exactly.
welcome.
Like I said, we'll take a look when
Yeah.
the fight starts. It's mathematically 1 becomes 2, or 1 becomes 2, and 2 can become 4, etc., etc. So, but that's not too much to keep track of. But we'll see
Well,
how the fight goes once we
exactly.
start.
And they've also added a 30-minute timer after the final slug dies for it to clean up. So you have like 30 minutes to grab the loot. Remove the reload dead boss boolean for the slug. It will come back in, what's it, like an hour or so, I believe. Smaller slugs will spawn the slug manager if none is present. Okay. Change the loot row table on the slug to the correct boss row. You kill the slug and then you get like the black wolf tooth. Yeah. Infinity says, for the boss on the experimental branch, and it was hard to dodge his spit attacks once you were in the poison pools. Only tried
Yeah,
melee and upload a wolf fight on YouTube page. I have deliberately haven't looked at any footage of Hammerhead Slug's fights yet. I want to do it on
that's
stream with Carl. Carl was already like, gonna be easy. I'm gonna be soloing
yeah,
it. So,
that's gonna be so easy, so easy. It's gonna be a walk in the park.
so
But no, no, I
we
can
will see.
imagine once you have the negative 50% or double stacked sprint bonuses that, staying out of the spinning, if it's constantly spinning, would be difficult. So
Well,
just don't get hit. That's
at
just it.
least you'll
Just
still
don't
be
get hit.
able to move. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah. Development flags have been removed, so it's now on the normal branch. Remove the space at the end of the Hammerhead name. The slug will now respawn correctly when slug style is reloaded. Okay. And change some equalizers such as the slug ignores itself when looking for targets that damaged it. So as long as I can be close, as long as I don't hit him, he's not gonna hit me. Okay, check. Right, couple of fixes, some project-wise assets optimization past the cleanups. Obsidian pickaxe, updated physics asset to capsules, added extra LED, optimized textures, change the PM to metal, more optimizations, cleanup. Obsidian sickle, UVs have been fixed. Fix 130 MB guide texture down to 300k due to non-POW size and no compression. Okay, thanks. Could be easy if you know what you're doing. I had no idea, but I'll try again. Yeah, we'll we'll check it out.
No,
Infinity. We'll check it out.
yeah, we'll check the video. I mean, realistically, it's just, having fun because it is a game, but also, things fly too fast. Try and avoid things and try and hit things to try and kill things whilst remaining alive. But it's easier said than done. We'll see how it is, and then we will have a post-mortem assessment of how badly we mucked up, or how well we did. Well, you
Well,
guys can
yeah.
rate it.
But yeah, I do hope for a proper challenge actually, because up until now
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like even the lava hunter was like meh.
I mean, if he didn't get bugged into the cave, it would have
Exactly.
been maybe a little bit different. And I mean, well, we'll see. I mean,
So
was
if they fix that and like the lava hunter stays out in the open, then it might be a worthy opponent. Yeah, I
we'll
agree,
see.
says Infinity. Proper challenge is awesome. Indeed.
Exactly. You know.
But yeah, and let's go through the future content.
Indeed.
Great
A
Ape
whole bunch of
Club only has a break chance for slams, so not for normal
yep.
hits and it won't break, just with slams.
And there's a lot of mentioning of legendary weapons and audio cues and all these things. So it
Oh
sounds like
yeah,
they're really working at, preparing us for the Great Hunt, or the type of expansion. So
yeah.
it's or DLC thing in Magoj.
So balancing player damage taken from creatures to accommodate for heavy hits as well as small and medium impacts.
Yeah. So
So
as we can
no
see,
longer a one hit fits all. No, it's gonna be like different types of hits.
indeed.
Cool.
And there seem some final passes on the Great Hunt music, so it does mean that they have probably like cinematic, audio cues and very cool, boss music, which gets you into that zone, which is really good because audio
Oh
is
yeah,
very important for immersion.
absolutely, absolutely,
Mm,
man.
so,
Rock Golem alternate secondary attacks are now enabled when using relevant upgrades. Sorry, are we gonna upgrade the Rock Golem, and then it's gonna do, or is this like Rock Golem weapon? I reckon it's Rock
probably
Golem
the
weapon,
golem where
the
yeah,
gauntlet.
probably would be the, yeah.
Hey, storm wall material. Blueprint setup, work in progress.
Interesting.
Huh,
Storm wall. Yeah, it
yeah.
could be like new building materials based upon. I mean, obviously there's the items and legendary weapons and such things that are going to be coupled to the boss things, but if there would be, like different wall textures or something
Yeah.
from like sandworm, if you could make shingles out of the sandworm scales, that would be pretty cool. At least aesthetically, it would give new
Yep.
textures and such. So that would be pretty cool.
Excited to see you try it out. Me too, Infinity. Also, last night during the dev stream, they said Rock Golem is coming to Olympus, and the Ape boss is coming to Styx. So we're gonna get map-specific big animals. Cool, cool.
Bosses. Which makes it interesting because you wouldn't want all the goodies to be in one basket, so theoretically it
Also,
makes
the map
sense that.
will become quite crowded.
Yeah, exactly, that as well, but it would be like, okay, well, if you wanted this cool weapon, you should kind of have this version of the, it makes a reason for you to build the base and get geared up and to have an outpost for, set up on that specific, on Olympus so that you be an easier time fighting, the new world boss, for example, rather than, oh yeah, we'll just stay on, Prometheus and then just do everything and then not to ever bother with the other maps ever again. So, makes sense.
Yeah.
It does seem like there's mentioning that they're making the great ape more slow and immobilized stat resistant. So it
There
seems
goes
like
my electric attachment. Electroshock
yes,
attachment.
exactly. So it
Darn.
does make sense. I mean, it does make sense that they would want to treat it as a boss, which usually in most games ignore any form of crowd control to begin with. So that
Yeah.
is a very common, thing to go for.
So, cold steel knife with electroshock attachment to like pin animals in place is not gonna work on the great ape.
That's
Hey,
true, but it's also, for example, my 100% chance to slow or immobilize using dagger throws. That
yep.
trait is also a thing. So realistically, I might see whether or not that might be something interesting to try on the slug.
Oh
But
yeah. Do you
the
have it on
one
your Prometheus character?
I think the Prometheus character was the one where I sort of built it on, but I need to double
Nice.
check. Or it'll be my knife character, which is not on Prometheus at the moment. So I'll have to see.
Let's see. Enables them to sell map DLCs easily if you want to kill all the bosses. Yeah, to distribute them across different maps. True. Uh,
True.
I'm not blaming them. I mean, DLCs is
Oh.
where the majority of their income comes from, and I would
And
very much like them to see to see them make money so they can continue developing the game. Eh,
it doesn't make sense to have all the world bosses on one tile. It just doesn't.
exactly.
So it makes sense that you would want to build, multiple bases throughout
Yeah.
the Icarus universe, quote unquote, and therefore, being able to also make it easier for them to add more, legendary creatures or more content. But it's makes sense to me.
The slow perk from dagger throws and work on bosses? I don't know, Infinity. We'll check if Carl has the talent on his Prometheus character. He's definitely gonna check it
It
and
does,
test it
as
out.
far as I remember, it does, but it doesn't immobilize them. It just slows them significantly.
Yeah.
So
Well, haven't
it's
we haven't we checked it with I don't know.
I checked it with bears and stuff like that, but
Yep.
I'm not sure if
Bears
we've
are not
tried
world
with
bosses
the.
though.
No, of course they're not, but I can't recall if we tried it with any of the actual world bosses, like the Scorpion King. I think I did, but then
If
it
it's a
just slowed
Scorpion
him.
King, then
But
it's not on Prometheus. Prometheus doesn't have
oh yeah,
desert.
No, correct.
Although,
There's a
having
lot
said
of
that, Scorpion King does spawn in Arctic sometimes as well, but it does not spawn on Prometheus.
yeah.
Is that correct? No, Prometheus up until now didn't have any world bosses. They added the Lava Hunter last week, yeah, and Hammerhead Slug this week. So those are, as far as I know, the only two world bosses on Prometheus. So if we have tried it on a world boss before, it was not on Prometheus. Okay, let's see. Anything else interesting here?
Yeah, one
Hammerhead Slug.
common thing I
Yeah.
saw was they added the gargantuan or gargantuan great hunt steps to collect the sonic device if the player had collected it and stored it somewhere in the millions of chests or things as such. So you have to go look for it rather than get to the mission location probably and then be in need of a particular item and not having per said item. So it seems like it's obviously going to be a quest
Uh,
story to have, going
looks
forward. I
like
haven't
it
done
is
it, so
it's going to be a craftable device then.
yeah, probably.
But if you start a mission, before starting the mission, so start the mission, you will be given one just in case you haven't crafted one yet, because you're gonna need one for this mission apparently. There's a sandworm boss on Prometheus, a null sector mission, spawns a sandworm. Um, yes, it does one of those missions. However, it does not spawn it as a world boss. It just spawns it as like a bit of a bigger worm during one of the missions. But you are right. It spawns a sandworm, but like I said, not as a world boss. Let's see. Again mentioned adding the load spear into the sandworm crossbow. That was mentioned last week as well. Let's see. Hey Echo, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Adding, yeah,
Is that our Echo that joined? Or?
yes, judging by the name.
Ah, welcome, welcome indeed. Long time no
Yeah,
chat.
finally made
But
it,
I can also see they added
indeed.
yeah, nice,
Sorry.
nice. I can see they added a destructible mesh asset for the Swamp Ape club. So obviously that was also coupling to one of the previous bulletins about it being only damaging its durability, I think, on the smashing option
On the
or something to that
slams,
effect. So
yeah.
slams, yeah. So
Added spinning wheel art assets. Spinning wheel art asset. Let's hope this is like a precursor to an actual bench. Although I'm not sure what we are gonna spin. Didn't it say something about silk last week?
oh yeah, there was some silk-based things which
Yeah.
was mentioned. We think it'll be certain arachnid silk webs rather than
Yep.
actual silkworms of some sort. So we'll see how that goes.
So yeah, a spinning wheel as a bench does tie into
Yep,
last week's mention about silk. Nice, nice.
indeed. Makes probably cushions or fabrics or upgrades of the sort.
A
I
parachute,
can also see
finally.
that they yeah, oh, that's also interesting. Yeah, like a glider perhaps. So that
Or,
would be pretty
or,
cool.
or the
Being
zip
able
line.
to glide.
They were
Yeah, like a
talking.
zip line.
They
Yeah,
were talking about zip lines. A couple of
yeah.
weeks ago. Remember?
But a paraglider would also be pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of games out there that sort of have these, just deploy something and then you're gliding. So it might be interesting to be able to have a very tall structure and then jump off of it and sort of glide down.
I'm more
Like
thinking about
the zip lines. Yeah, yeah.
jumping down cliffs, so you don't have to run around.
No, exactly. That's also true. But it's like the typical what's that game called? Genshin Impact, I think, with like the people. If you jump off the cliff, then you have like a little glider thing. And then I think Zelda also has it. There's a lot of games that have that type of thing
Yeah.
to ease traversing the world when you have
Yeah,
cliffs and
but
such.
they did mention zipline a couple of weeks ago in the patch notes, if I recall correctly.
No, they did. They did.
So, better here than nowhere. You're right, Echo. No place better to be than here, except than in the game. But yeah. wish there was silver as an ore node and resource infinity to like,
Silver.
I mean, at what tier would you position the silver then? And
It'll probably
currently
just be
there's
before gold.
no resource or no objects calling for silver as such.
Yep, you would have to squeeze it in theoretically,
Yeah,
but it's a fair point why there wasn't any. But there obviously is gold, and
yeah,
silver is used in different components as well within
yeah. Gold
the real world.
is
But
it tier two, tier
mm,
three ish? Nah, tier two
mm,
actually. Together with iron and copper. Tier three
yep,
you have aluminum, you have platinum, and tier four obviously titanium. But then silver would be a tier two one as well, I'd say.
yep.
Yeah,
So then, yeah, definitely interesting. But then the one thing I could see here is they added a lamb SK meshes, materials, and textures. So
yeah.
definitely
For
carrying on from the breeding kind of things as well.
the
So
whole
being able
husbandry
to.
part, yeah.
Yep, indeed. So that's still something that they're actively working towards, I hope, and that's probably going to come out sooner rather than later because there were images from last week with the bull and
Yep,
the cow and such things, and there was, still those types of things that seems to be on the horizon in regards to new content.
yep. Exported higher resolution source textures for the raptor.
Oh, the
Still,
raptor
yeah,
again.
the still
Yeah.
raptor creature.
Mm,
I do
yes.
wonder what
Yes.
kind of creature we're talking about, like a fast, agile, predatorial creature. Hopefully we can tame it and ride it.
Yeah,
It might
indeed.
give the mower a run for its money. I don't know.
Indeed. An interesting thing, the Slug launcher has
Yeah,
stats added and effects for backpack, loader, and splash guard components. So it probably does sound like there are some sort of mods that go onto the launcher of some sort, which either get loaded quickly from a backpack or, some sort of shielding from a splash. I have no idea what that could
yeah,
actually
like
relate to, but
upgradable
they're still working
components,
on
like add
that.
components to upgrade the
Exactly.
weapon.
Yeah, to change how it handles, because it makes sense. Maybe you wanted more utility, or I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe you wanted to have more storage slots, or maybe you wanted to have it just doing more damage or loading quicker. So,
loading
maybe
quicker
it's
by
using
adding
the
the loader, yeah, for example.
exactly, yeah.
More
So we'll see
ammo
what
by adding the backpack, something to that
exactly, yeah,
extent.
yeah, yeah, or getting like a shield built into it from like the splash guard, for
No?
example. Who knows?
A flyer echo? You mean for the silk and to like go down cliffs? A little delta wing?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll probably need to use the silk and the spinning wheel to craft the flyer,
Yeah.
basically, or the gliding kite or something like
But
that, probably.
they haven't talked about such a thing yet. Would be nice. I totally agree. But what we do know is that they were talking in the patch notes future content about zip lines. I believe it was in the future content
Yeah, there was a
about
mention
zip
of it, yeah.
lines. So
Mhm.
both would be nice. At least like a way to go down faster. Like I have on my new Styx open world with my new character, I've built way up on the mountain, and I've built ramps down parallel to the mountain. But if I could like go with a flyer or a zipline straight down, that's gonna save a lot of time going down. You still need to go up, which you can't do with either flyer or a zipline, but would be definitely fun going down.
Yeah.
Let's see, Rock Golem rolling attack now pushes hit targets to the side instead of straight forward, reducing the chance that players are hit successively. Yep,
Yeah, that wouldn't end well. So,
exactly.
just get staggered, get killed, basically, is what
Yeah,
it would be. Just keep on moving on the same spot, so.
Rhyme Tusk, Great Hunt. And a little bit above I saw another one, or was it also Rhyme Tusk? Quarite. Quarite Great Hunt as well. Now we have the Rhyme Tusk Great Hunt. Yeah, I'm gonna get quite a few animals there. New ones.
Yeah,
Rock Golem, Valheim-esque things. Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
Although
definitely.
this Rock Golem is gonna have like armor, which you can then shoot off to uncover weak points from what we have gathered so far in the future content patch notes.
And we're suspecting that it would create or eat certain voxel nodes and gain different buffs based upon what it eats, whether or not it eats a gold voxel or like a
Oxide or
coal oxide or something
uh,
like that. So it might affect, it goes from, dealing fire damage, I don't know, to doing electrical, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting concept if they do make it sort of change how its engagement takes place based upon what sort of voxel it would consume to regain health. So it's
and
we would
this
probably
is
want to take care of those around the spawn location.
and this is speculation based on future content info.
Yeah.
I've made so indeed you've made a lot, Echo. You have a lot to catch up on. Anyway, let's see. Fix your Iceman Arena. Applied new meshes and materials for Storm Wall. So once again, Storm Wall's been mentioned. Adjustments to the Rock Golem armor break audio. More audible over busy mix. Good, because I do play a lot by ear as well. Health comes first though, eh? Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Removing mentions of Thumper from dialogue.
Yeah, doesn't make much sense, but then it's basically from my perspective, I see them adding legendary weapon view screens and icons to make them view their info, make it easier, but then below that it says adjusting the living item shop or the living items shop item data to include backgrounds and weapon images. So there is definitely a legendary weapon
Yeah.
item, and then there's going to be a living item, which is a separate type of item. I don't think those are intertwined by the
No.
looks of it.
Living item, shop
So,
item is a tag from how I read this.
ah, so it's
So
probably the same
basically,
thing then?
you kill the Great Hunt bosses or world bosses or whatever. You grab the
Yeah,
loot, you send it up to space, the
yeah,
bio stuff. Then there was mention about this bio lab thingy on the space station, which you then use to like research. I'm thinking out loud here, eh? Used to
yeah.
research this biomaterial, and you can then unlock slash craft parts for the legendary weapon, which you then call down back to Icarus, and then assemble it to actually get the legendary weapon. So
Sheesh.
I reckon there
Okay.
will be a new currency between quotes, being this biomaterial stuff.
Yeah,
Now I do
makes
hope
sense.
they have like one for each boss type. Like you can't use the Ave loot for getting the Slug weapon, for example. I hope.
Hmm. Well, I think you might have, a shared resource, which would be like a type of red exotic, but then you would need an X amount of, vestiges or parts of the boss, creature in order to be able to craft, the legendary weapon. Who knows, realistically?
I can't
We'll
wait
see.
for the Great Hunt to be released, man.
Well, we should be able to get an idea if the loot table of the Hammerhead Slug is something to go on,
True,
because
tronna
theoretically, if it's going
And
to drop
yeah,
something which we could save up in order to be used, for
and
the future.
especially next week when they are gonna add loot tables to the other world bosses, then we can then
Exactly.
compare the different loots.
Exactly. So it might be something that even the current Hammerhead Slug might not actually drop anything, but theoretically, when they're introducing the others to become lootable, that there should hopefully be the ability to really start collecting the required materials, because we have no idea how much we would actually need to craft the legendary items. So
Indeed.
I can
See,
see that they set up a G-fur for the lamb to add trophy mesh and materials and BP.
yeah.
So they also want to turn the lambs into things that you prop onto a board and stick on the wall. So that
On
sounds
my
good.
Olympus open world, I wanted to move bases, and then I noticed the cow could not traverse from ground up into a ramp. So I couldn't get it in my new base, couldn't get it back into the old base, so I just killed it and made a trophy.
Did you name the trophy?
No,
You should have, if
I,
the
I,
cow was called Daisy, you should have put a
I
sign
named it
underneath it
stupid.
that says, oh yeah, that's fair enough. If it doesn't want to get onto the ramp, then it
Exactly,
becomes dinner. So it's pretty simple.
exactly. So I did it with the cow, the sheep, and the chicken. So in that open world, I have now a trophy of all 3 of them. Let's see. Some more. Adding world boss names to the Great Hunt UI. Fading weapon images on Great Hunt and boss entries, so they're now only visible when hovering. Okay. Changed materials on the Hammerhead cocoon and added cocoon forming VFX. That's something we're gonna see today.
Yeah, makes sense. I think there was also a vague naming of the like a cocooning phase. So maybe that's when they're
When they're merging.
not when they're invulnerable, and then it's basically you should have sort of done damage before that point. This seems like where the mechanics will
Like
become
the
quite hands-on.
merge in a cocoon and
Yeah,
then come out of the cocoon as the bigger variant again.
exactly.
Adding respawn timers on the Great Hunt UI for world bosses. Good, so you know how long do I have to wait before the next one pops up, so I can go out and kill it. Also fixed issues with the world boss information, so it displays the number of potential spawns, as well as the number of currently active. Cool.
Yeah.
It now tracks and updates boss information, replicates it to clients for display on various UIs. Good. Garganoton Great Hunt progress tracking for wave defense missions. Clarifies objectives in damage type missions, so we're gonna get different mission types there for the Great Hunt. Cool. Wave
Well, there's a
defense.
big.
Whoa.
That's one of them. I
Fortified
think.
walls and spikes and repair hammers and running like mad, repairing everything.
Yeah,
Bring a bunch of spare spikes. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
yeah. Decreases the sewing machine RMA to 1k, so a sewing
So,
machine, which might be that needle thing, so it does sound like it's, once again
well,
still
we
quite
have a
cool.
spinnery. If we get a spinnery bench and a sewing machine, is it like gonna be like a Texas bench tier 5 combo thingy?
Probably because you remember
Huh.
making the line using a spindle is different than using the thread to actually make something. So it probably would be tier 4, tier 5 base type of powered sewing bench. So it does sound pretty cool.
Yeah. Adding a weight layer to the ice mammoth and other sledgehammers. So we're gonna get an ice mammoth sledgehammer. I'm not sure that was mentioned before. It does kinda ring a very distant bell,
Um,
but I'm not sure anymore.
yeah,
Ice mammoth
I think it
weapon
was.
gonna be sledgehammer.
Yeah, I think it's something to that effect. But then there was an added Kaku clock with texture, materials, skeleton meshes, and animations. So it sounds like perhaps with the rooster that you would use it or possibly have it set
Hey,
up
the
as an
chicken,
alarm clock. Yeah.
the little chicken, the baby chicken.
Oh, is it a baby chicken? I would
Maybe.
imagine
I
that
mean,
would be.
otherwise it wouldn't fit into the clock, or you would get like a big ass clock.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might just be a stuffed, rooster, to use the correct word.
Yeah, but
Clock
then
with
you need a
textures
big
with an
clock.
alarm. Yeah. Clocks can be big, clocks can be small.
True.
It doesn't necessarily need to be because think about the what's it called, the woodpecker clocks, where it strikes a certain time, and then a little bird pops out and then goes
Yeah,
cuckoo 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 and then
I
goes back
know,
inside.
I know.
So it
But
might be something
if
like that.
you imagine that little birdie be the size of a rooster, imagine how large the rest of the clock is gonna be. You're
Yeah, it's
gonna
gonna
need
be
like a
big.
two-story wall.
That's fine. If
True.
it's fashionable, we'll have to see what it would look like.
I was also looking a couple of bullet points above, adjusting Great Hunt's talent tree, so they fit within the space allocated on the UI. When I get like specific talents, like an extra talent tree, Or is it going to be an addition to the current talent tree, or are we going to get like a special talent tree with its own pool of points for Great Hunt?
Might be.
Hmm.
In fact, it could be, because if you think about it, we currently have the normal one plus the solo playing one. So it
Yeah.
might as well just be one where you have something dedicated towards when you're actually engaged with a legendary creature, which might change the way your gameplay, goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one.
And if we're talking about like furniture items, wall candle holder,
Hmm.
wooden candle holder with textured materials. DMs also added a candle proxy mesh with materials for multiple colors. So a wall candle, cool. Yeah, Alpha Wolf has now been renamed to Black Wolf because one time it's called Alpha Wolf, the other time it's called Black Wolf. From now on, the official name is Black Wolf everywhere. Good. Added a research crate icon. So I'm still thinking about the research lab where you like spend the biomaterial from the world bosses to research stuff and then maybe call that back down in a research crate, something to that extent.
Yeah, there was a research crate mentioned as well, or
Yeah,
legendary crate, so to say. So not so much research crate, so that was mentioned.
yeah, don't know. Using Great Hunt talent trees, an overview of the hunt is displayed before clicking on missions.
Hmm. So maybe you would select talent trees specifically for at the start of the mission, which is interesting.
I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to find out though once they bring us the Great Hunts.
Yeah,
I'd say bring it on, but make
adding
it
a
work proper
shield.
first.
Exactly. Shield ricochet or ricochet icon. So that probably means shields would be more useful. And speaking of shields, we've barely actively used shields, so maybe a shield blocking the projectiles from the hammerhead might work or might not work. Maybe that will block it from where
Shields
you would
block
use it.
physical damage.
Yeah, it might still block, a bunch of liquid being thrown at you, but I've never tested it, so I
Yeah,
don't
then
think I've
it'll
tried
eat
using the
away
shield in
your
front of a Viscid.
it'll eat away your
So,
shield.
yeah, but well, it's better than eating away your shield than eating away your face. That's,
True,
just my
true.
opinion.
I mean,
So,
shield is if you have it on your back is more of a passive damage
no, I
modifier.
know. Yes, yes, but a shield isn't always intended to be just kept on your back. It's
True,
usually
true,
used as the item to be able to,
true. And
adjust the fight and,
uh, to be honest,
control.
I have to get more use in actually using the shield when using a one-handed weapon.
But
After
that's my
all,
point.
they changed it now. If you switch to a one-handed weapon, it automatically equips the shield on your offhand.
Yeah, that's like in Valheim being able to, use a special block to kind of stagger opponents or doing something. So it won't be the same, but you should get used to blocking, for
Yeah,
example, especially if we're going to start fighting big creatures. Because taking club to face isn't going to end very well when the creature is 3 stories tall and has a club which is a log of a tree, and then
yeah. The
smack you in
question
your
is
face.
how much can you do with with a little shield in? But okay.
Uh, it's either that or taking it straight into the face. So, I would say rather,
Yeah,
break an arm than a face. But yeah.
true. What do you guys think the best way to receive electricity besides solar panels on a budget in game? Water wheels
Water wheels, yeah.
are the cheapest option.
That's the
They do not take storm damage. However, you will need to empty them out every 2 or 3 hours. I believe 2 hours and a bit or so.
but that's useful because that's spoiled plants or something to that effect
Yeah,
that you could use for your compost. So realistically, it's
make
both
fertilizer out of
options.
it, or
Yeah,
use it for other recipes. Use it to make crop plots, I believe. No, you need dirt for that, not spoiled plants. But yeah, it's used in a couple of recipes. If you go for wind turbines, they're more expensive. They do, however, generate more power, I believe. No, comparable. 7050 versus 2K, 1750 for the wind turbine versus
that wouldn't be
2K
considered cheap
for
though.
the water wheel. So wind turbine slightly less. I'm
Yeah,
calling numbers like trying to get them from memory about that. amount.
About
Wind turbines you have to repair after every storm because they get damaged over time during storms, and they will generate even less power when they get damaged. But yeah, you need more and more expensive materials to build wind turbines. Water wheels are cheaper. So, got two wind turbines on top of my house right now. Yeah. Are battery packs any good? Yes. Like, especially if you go with solar panels, they only produce power during the day. So you need something to provide your power during the night. So that's where the battery packs come in. Now, if you go for solar panels, they basically work only during the day, but they will never take any damage. So you never have to repair them or to clear them or clean or whatever, and then offset it with batteries. So during the day you charge your batteries so they can provide power during the night. And here comes the thing into effect that in Icarus, if you sleep, time doesn't pass slowly, it's instant. So if you go to bed at like 1800 and you wake up at 700, you only have a couple of hours without any power production from the solar panels. So you don't need that much battery power to run your base during the off hours, so to say. Unless you stay up all night, and then you obviously it drains your batteries more. Uh, Keep also an eye on like what is the maximum power you can draw. I never use the basic battery packs, but I believe they only can charge or discharge with a maximum of 1000, where the advanced one is 10k. So if your base draws 15k and you have one battery, it can only provide 10k power per time unit. So yeah, do keep that in mind. Time to grind more copper then? Yeah, you need 3 copper for 1 gold for every electronic, so it's expensive. And if you go for the advanced batteries, you're gonna need a ton of titanium as well. Solar panels, quite a lot of glass. You need composites. It ain't cheap, but once you have a decent solar farm going and a decent battery bank, you're golden. Hey Ariel, welcome. Anyway, let's see. Uh, Next in the future content. Yeah, more working on the ambient music, dialogue lines, volumes, sounds, very important.
Yep, pretty much I skipped all the way down to close to basically
Increase,
where it
yeah,
says
increase
adding.
Nova station durability though.
No
Wasn't
idea what
that
the
like
Nova station
the?
is.
Was that going to be the like the Great Hunt device? Like we have the contact device for the missions, and then the Nova station for the Great Hunt?
Could be. Might be. We'll have to see.
Okay, you skip down all the way to.
You're adding a rock golem juvie flinch and death order event still, so it still refers to the juveniles of the golem, whether or not I still recall reading that we would have the ability to, tame the rock golem to be able to ride them. I still had, for some silly reason, that in my mind, but
Yeah,
I think you
and I know
mentioned that
we
this is
talked
just
about it.
ads.
I don't know anymore whether it was mentioned in the patch notes as such, or if we were like, hey, juvenile rock golem, can we then tame it?
Yeah, because I recall something about a saddle, and I just recall small bits and pieces which indicated to me that you would be able to sort of, you know, tame the golem, or at least a juvenile golem to it. But that's very odd. It doesn't make sense. So it would make us a sense if it's just, oh, as part of the boss fight, it spawns smaller juvenile or baby small
Yeah,
rock golems, which are ads that you have to take care of, similar to the skeletal, scorpions that spawn during the Scorpion King fight.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
it could be something like that.
if we will be able to tame juvenile rock golems, please tell us we're gonna get like juvenile scorpion kings as well. to tame.
Yeah, it would be an interesting future thing,
In
but
theory, they would be very good in scaling cliffs.
true.
Let's see, added prototype mesh for the weapon rack.
Yes.
Cool, new bench where you can put all kind of guns and bows and stuff in. Nice.
Possibly, yeah. It might also be required to have a better type of, modification station to be able to add, legendary item or change it because we read up above where it had
Yeah.
the backpack and the shield and the stuff like that. So rather than just having it as a standard weapon, you might need something specialized or something that's a tier higher.
And weapon rack for the legendary weapons.
Yeah,
Basically, use it as a display item until you need it. Nice. That would be
that would be cool.
fun.
Yeah,
Would be very nice.
it's like similar to the crystal battle axe at our Valheim base, where it
Yeah.
looks nice, it's cool, it's a nice achievement to get. So rather than just having it in your inventory where it isn't there, you could put it against the wall and grab the little
Although
short
I
ninja.
think there are gonna be a couple of legendary weapons I'm gonna carry around by default.
No, true. But it would be a nice decorative item as well, and
Yeah.
if you could put something like that as well, something to like an armor rack and a weapon rack, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Another decoration item, the giant ranch sign.
Hmm.
This one, fixed biofuel radar not being able to be toggled. This is the issue where we ran into last
Ah,
week
yep,
or the
that's
week
correct.
before.
That was last week. We wanted to add
Was it
or
last week?
spawn in
Yeah,
something,
the
and we were hunting.
Ashen Drakes
So,
and or
yeah, yeah,
the Stone Jaws.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's hopefully it's a future content, not a fix
Ah,
yet.
yes, you're right, you're right.
Mm,
Ah,
so we
but
shall see. Yeah.
a fix for the problem that the biofuel radar cannot be toggled. Okay.
Yeah.
I read it as there is a fix for the problem that now the future
No, I
content there will
agree.
be a fix. Yep.
Probably there will be. They added it into the thing because somebody told them or somebody logged the ticket, so it's fine.
Well, I wasn't the only one. I listed it on Discord,
Hmm.
and yeah, I wasn't the only one having that issue. So.
Exactly.
Duplicate most necessary animations for the juvenile rock golem.
Juvenile. So it's been
Armor, added armor to the
yeah,
juvie.
yeah. So
Fixed juvenile
there's
rock golem T-posing after death. He's no longer gonna
T-posing
move.
is it's classic. T-posing is classic.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Uh,
The Now have they fixed it so it stopped T-posing or so it starts T-posing?
yeah, we'll have to see.
Biolab,
And
yeah, there's you see Biolab UI.
yeah, the
Adding
legendary weapon stuff.
purchasing functionality to the Biolab weapon information screen. Yeah, see, Biolab weapon, you can like research weapons, you can like purchase functionalities. Yeah, I really think you have to like send up the stuff to the Biolab and then research and like getting weapon parts and stuff. Here, adding images for the Biolab legendary weapons background. Yeah. Cool.
And then we're close to the end, but there was mentionings of curtains and shutters and saloon-style doors. Obviously, there was a mention of
Homestead
barns. Yeah,
curtains, homestead shutters, homestead saloon style door.
yeah,
I'm gonna put those as internal doors, no longer
yeah,
the leather curtains. No,
yeah.
it's gonna be all the saloon style doors, man.
Exactly. It's like because you did upgrade the doors to the new reinforced iron doors, which look significantly better than the garbage doors.
Yeah,
So, it
yeah, but
definitely increased
I'll
the,
keep those as outside doors, definitely. You
yeah,
don't want the
but the
saloon
inside,
doors, but the inside
uh,
doors definitely gonna replace those with a saloon style. Oh
you
yeah.
know, and I think that's pretty much it for the future content.
Yeah, and that's basically it for the Patchnotes, which means we are gonna take a break. Uh, what do you think? How long you're gonna need for your game to
No, it's
finish
updated.
updating? It's
I'm ready.
updated. Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
already
say
8:30.
yeah,
So,
so say 10 minutes.
yep.
Okay, so we will take a break. I'll end the stream and we will be back in 10 minutes and then we will do Prometheus co-op. And we will definitely gonna go check out this Hammerhead Slug world boss. Oh yeah. I'm gonna stand back. Carl already said he's gonna take him on his own. He's gonna quickly go in and kill
Easy.
it, and I'll be standing
Easy.
there and laugh. So
Yeah, I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you the techniques and the skills that is
yep.
required to be a boss player and solo bosses like it's easy. I'll show you. It's just step by step guide. Walk in, kill it, walk out. Done. It's that simple.
So yeah, Infinity, come back in like 10 minutes and you can see how Carl easily solos
Easily.
the Hammerhead Slug world boss.
Solo.
We heard that before indeed, Echo. I know, right? Maybe you guys want to come in and help me out now, please? Yeah, I know, right?
Running away is a valid strategy.
Yep, yep. But yeah, anyway, like I said, this is the end of the patch notes. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, so thank you folks for being here, really appreciate it. I am gonna end the stream and I will start a new stream in about 10 minutes, so hey, do come back, and you can see us like taking on the Hammerhead Slug World Boss. So again, thanks for being here, really appreciate it, and I hope I'll see you folks around.